speaker, now I'm going to have to wing the pronunciation of his name. I've practiced it several times outside, and he will laugh no matter how hard I try to pronounce it correctly. Jeremy Yongurra Donovan is our next speaker. He's not just a speaker, he's also an artist and a performer, and he's from the Kuku-Yalanji tribe from Northern Queensland. He travels around Australia. He's committed to sharing the 60,000-year-old wisdoms of his people. And his big message is about being the change, and he says, being the change you want to see. And I think we do want to see a change. Pat McGorry picked up on this earlier, about the shame that we feel towards, I guess, the treatment of refugees and also the Indigenous people of our country. And I think we do want to see change, and I think we do want to be inspired. On that note, I will introduce or call to the stage Jeremy, who is going to perform for us and I think speak a little bit about, I guess, what his culture has to teach us about happiness. Thank you very much.
Baby, do you understand me now? I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood.
Thank you. What a privilege and what an absolute honour to be one of the closing acts for what has been an incredible couple of days. Every time I get the opportunity to stand before people and share a little bit about my story, I always feel so deeply humbled, because I recognise the fact is that for a long time the story of Aboriginal Australia was not told. And I also recognize the fact that each and every single one of us that's in this room today has a story. And everyone's story is as valid as the next. I'm going to start with asking you all just to close your eyes. Something in our language, in the Gogonogo language, we say yabu yena. It means to drop your eyelids, to turn your eyes inwards. And instead of distracting ourselves with what we see outside, look at what you have inside. Na yabu yena na wawol. Na nyanyara na yo pari na maya yelanga na nawol na galapai. Gilio dole yara jajira mana yanga yora na wilima na yo boy. Na maya yelanga na nawol na gambalani na gapore na mwikai na gapanyang. Na gapanyang na galwol. In this country, there is so much wisdom. There is so much knowledge. And it's there for everyone. So often I speak to people about their understanding of Aboriginal culture. So often I get the opportunity to speak to people on platforms where they're searching for an answer for themselves, searching for the elusiveness of enlightenment. And I see them searching so far outwardly and not taking that time to stop and just search inwardly. I was very fortunate. I have had a very blessed life, what I would say, is that at the age of 2, I was placed into the foster care system and adopted, and I had a beautiful family that adopted me. I had a Maori father and a Samoan mother, and at the age of 5, we moved to New Zealand, and we lived in South Auckland, and then when I was 9 years old, we moved to Apia, to Samoa. And then at the age of 12, moved back to Australia. My parents gave me everything they could to stabilize my life. The one thing they weren't actually able to give me was my identity of who I am. It wasn't until I was 16 years old that I met my biological mum, who was a beautiful lady, an amazing lady, blonde hair, blue eyes, and very fair skin. She's a third-generation Anglo-Australian whose parents migrated from Scotland once upon a time. I also was given the opportunity at 16 to meet my biological father, an Aboriginal man from the Kuku-Yalanji, or the Gogonogo people of far Northern Queensland. In meeting my father, I became very blessed that I was introduced to my grandparents, my dad's parents. And my grandfather was probably, still today, what I would describe as the wisest man that I've ever sat with in all of my time. And he was wise for the simplicity that he believed in. He believed in simply that we already had the answers that we needed. We just had to be prepared to look at our gapanyang, to look at our heart. And in looking at our heart, embrace all of our imperfections. Not run from them, not be afraid of them, but embrace them and know that they're yours and it's perfectly fine. My grandfather, I spent many years sitting on the land up in Cape York with him. Between the ages 16 and 20, I lived with my grandfather. I was very blessed. I was taught to speak the Gogonogo language, and I still speak it fluently today. I was taught this beautiful instrument, the yigi. But the greatest thing that he gave me was this passion to share. A passion to bring the Aboriginal culture to life in a way that I could make it yours and not feel like there is a separation that we have to see. That I truly believe that when we can sit together, when we can walk together, when we can share a story together, then we can truly see each other, not through someone else's window. And so every time I get the opportunity to come and speak and share my story, it's about that. It's about giving Australians, and while I know we have some international people here, I'm very fortunate. I spend most of my career speaking over in America and through Europe. But it's Australian people that I really want to sit with, because I want to make this yours. I want not the media's stories, which are projecting negative stories, to be at the forefront of your mind. I want the beauty. I want the feeling that you get when you close your eyes and listen to us speak in our traditional language to be at the first thing that you say. I dream of you experiencing the same experience I get when I play the didgeridoo, or in our language, yiggy yiggy. Because there is a sense of pride that comes for that. We are all displaced. We have all suffered displacement at some point. You know, if you came here with the First Fleet, you left your homelands. If you came here as a two-bob pom, if you came here as a single mother that was promised a better life, if you came here with the Snowy River scheme, you are now here, you are now Australian. Embrace all that is Australian. And I know this is hard sometimes. We do have a painful past, but let's not base our relationship on the pain that breaks us, but base us on the beauty that we have today, that we are a multicultural nation. One of the most important things I had to learn was, how do I embrace who I am as a third-generation Anglo-Australian with Scottish heritage and Irish heritage and Aboriginal. But for me to be truthful to myself, I needed to embrace all of that. And I'm going to share one story. I was very blessed that I was invited to take the didgeridoo out and play with the Edinburgh Tattoo out in Scotland. And the only way I can describe the experience that I got when I started playing didgeridoo and the Highland pipes started to sound was I felt my DNA dance that day. Something moved so deeply inside me that I knew right there and then, I had learnt who I was. And I also became so passionate about becoming Yongurra Donovan Being, which is my traditional name. The name that Sarah tried so hard to get right. That first part, Yongurra, that is my dreaming. It is the name of the long-necked turtle. That is my dreaming. Yiran means to come home. Bangarene means to build the bridge. And Damja means to help those cross it. And that's simply what I strive to do in my life, is to be the bridge, to allow everyone to come and stand on it with me, so we can truly see ourselves with beauty. And see ourselves in a way that we can support each other. Having an adopted father that was Māori and a Samoan mother, I grew up with this strong connection to tangata whenua, the spirit of that country. I understood mana, this strength of the spirit. I performed in kapa haka dances all my young life. The one thing that I know is that in New Zealand, the Pākehā, the non-Indigenous people, are proud of their cultural and their country's ancestry. That pride is what I dream to see in this country. I'm going to share one last song. This song is played on the Native American flute. I'm very blessed to spend a lot of time with those people out there, and this is all about sharing. Thank you. Thank you. It's been an absolute honour to share with you all.